Here we are.
Welcome.
Welcome to Thanksgiving at the Shazers and week 13
Lucky number.
of the fantasy football year. Big trade between Wes and Tim. Tim, walk us through that trade.
Yeah. Well, it all started. Actually, no. J.K. Dobbins, my $5 running back wonder, is now hurt. And our good friend Wes, who has Gus, also known as the Bus, not Jerome Bettis, offered me a trade yesterday morning. So I said, yes, I'm interested. And so I sent him an offer, and then he forgot to do anything with it when the deadline was at noon until last night. And he's like, let's make a trade. He was interested in one of my quarterbacks. And I thought, all right, he wanted a quarterback and a wide receiver he could trust. So I gave him Hurts and Devontae Smith in exchange for Gus and Herbert. Probably
a quarterback you'll never use.
But at the same time, Joe Burrow is the number 2 ranked quarterback, and he's kind of been wasted on my bench. So we'll see. I may have made Wes better and solidified his playoff chances, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
And thanks, Libby, for pushing it through.
Yeah, Libby cheated he changed the timing of the trade deadline to 11:30 today. I don't think anyone else ended up pushing anything through, if I remember correctly, from the recent activity. I think you were the last trade to go through.
We were the last trade to go through. So thank you, Wes.
Anything else?
Sam also came alive in the league and made a trade too. We thought that Sam had completely checked out, and he made a trade.
That was...
He traded
Alvin Kamara and Roshan Johnson
to Lucas
for Devontae Adams and Jonathan Taylor, and then Lucas promptly traded Jonathan Taylor and Devontae Allen. Or no,
that's just the trade just got processed.
Yep. So Roshan is on Lucas's team now. That stupid touchdown hawk that takes all of DeAndre Swift's points.
I'm curious why Sam makes this move now that he's been officially eliminated for the playoffs, but maybe he's this is a tank and rebuild kind of move.
Or maybe he's picked his horse for the playoffs. He's going to help Lucas.
Choose Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas has won a lot of times in this league, though.
Yeah, Lucas is usually a very good team. All right, winners, losers. Last week, I was a winner, but I beat a team not trying, but who has started to try, and Sam.
Libby is on the stream and says that James is the best looking Shazer.
I'm the AJ Hawk of the Shazers for this stream. I'm just sitting here and
you're just sitting here like going like this.
Oh, he has a cigar.
I should take off my sweater and get my tank top on and just start being Pat McAfee.
Need a chain too.
That's not true, Libby. And I thought you and James had a feud anyways.
No, Libby and I are the same.
Okay.
That's fine. Tim edges out a win. Lucas had a bad week. You had your worst week.
I did. Under 100.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so
no help from Joe Mixon, and J.K. Dobbins got hurt.
And I also got screwed by not checking my lineup on Sunday and realizing Devonta Smith was out. And I could have put Jordan Addison in my lineup, who got 26 points, but I had to grab Rashad Bateman from waivers, who did get me 10 points, but I wasted a good Jordan Addison game.
Very good Jordan Addison game. Stole all of Jefferson's points. Nathan beats Drew. How many times have these guys played?
They do play a lot.
This is a third time that they played each other.
I'm pretty sure that Nathan is just managing both teams, and I don't know. I don't think that Drew actually is involved in the league because he wanted to quit, and I think Nathan just decided to take over both teams.
Could be. Nathan, off week, decent game from Stafford and Puka Nacua. But everyone else kind of lower on points. Just so happened that Drew only scored 82 points. He also got -1 points from the San Francisco defense because the Packers decided to blow him out, which I believe I called last
You did,
week.
yeah. And negative points for defenses in our league is actually hard to get. So
Very hard to
that
do.
sucks.
Libby is the best team in the league. He has the best player in fantasy football who was traded to him for Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Libby, that trade is looking a bit lopsided. 255
Libby
yards.
traded Aaron Jones for Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
Cooper
What?
Kupp was involved, so it was Cooper Kupp and Aaron Jones, but for Saquon Barkley before the last 2 weeks, which have been like insane.
Just look at Libby's lineup. It's scary.
oh, Amon Ra too. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And David Montgomery.
And Bowers.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Oh boy.
he's got Josh Allen on his bench, so he doesn't even start Tua normally.
Tracy's good too. I really like Tracy.
And Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I don't like
Stefan continues to score points. We'll talk about him in the losers, but yeah, Libby dominant force. Ross. Now, I would like to go through all the players that Ross normally doesn't start that helped him win this game. He does not normally start Jalen Waddle. He had 24 points. He does not normally start Bucky Irving. He had 24 points. Just very fortunate for Ross that he's forced to play those guys. And instead of Chase Brown and Drake London, they come in, great spot start. And then Patrick Mahomes actually had a good game.
Jalen Waddle is the 42 ranked wide receiver, and this is the first time he scored in double digits since week 1.
Yes.
So that's things are going your way. Things are going Ross's way right now. He is like the Chiefs. He's getting good when it matters.
Tom, final winner of the week, scrapped together 110 points. Helps when you get 16 from Dicker, the kicker. Cooper Kupp, solid pickup, 16 points. 25 from Sutton, the great Denver wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I do think as much as that trade might be lopsided, that Tom did get better with that trade. He'd be even better with Saquon still playing. But
Yeah, I mean, so Cooper Kupp at 16, Aaron Jones at 18. That equals 34 points. Saquon had 44 this week.
analytics.
This is how that works. Sam doesn't play, so we don't talk about him. Lucas, good game from Bo Nix, bad game from everyone else, basically, on his team.
I'm not surprised he traded away Jonathan Taylor, seeing that he only got him 3.5 points.
Oh,
Yeah, he got a tough bye week there with Mooney being out and Devontae Adams, so he was starting some pretty suspect wide receivers. Hopkins had 12 points, but just not a ton of points there. Derrick Henry, kind of an off week.
See Lucas's name. Wait, I gotta go into the full name.
this is the most dad thing Tim's ever done.
I know. Look at my phone. His name is Poopy Flavored Lollipop because he lost last year.
Drew had
Looks
22
like an
points
AI
from his
photo.
kicker and Baker Mayfield, and did not win. Drew is a loser. Stefan, we keep on saying Stefan, third ranked team in points for, cannot win games. Has Lamar Jackson, has Jahmyr Gibbs, getting him points. Jonnu Smith, one of the best tight ends over the last 2 weeks, if not the best tight end.
But thankfully, he gets to be in the playoffs because we have the rule that if you have the highest points for it, you get a playoff spot.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
No, that's a good
stupid.
rule
That's
No.
a good rule.
No,
because Stefan's record is 4-8,
Doesn't matter.
which makes him out of the playoffs.
you
but
win
he's got
who's in front of you. You gotta beat who's in front of you. I don't
Well,
know.
No,
Okay.
it's too random what your matchups
Oh,
are.
I'm sorry. You don't like sports being random. Just play your sports on your computers where everything's non-random.
Holy crap! Drew Lock just threw no.
Drew Lock's in.
Drew Lock is in. Seth scored 103 points, but he played Ross, so he lost. That's
Josh Jacobs had a great
everyone
game.
who plays
Yep.
Ross does. Yeah, Josh Jacobs benefited from 3 touchdowns scored within the 5-yard line when we got him down there. Wes lost. He should keep losing. His team's terrible. He's going to somehow make the playoffs. He made his team slightly better with the trade from Tim, but his team is still pretty terrible.
He's gonna enjoy Devontae Smith either being out or getting him 3 points.
I had him last year. He's so frustrated.
His running back flex James is Rico Dowdle, Amir Abdullah, who had a fine game, and Xavier Worthy. He also starts Jerry Jeudy and Zach Ertz. His team's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose it's power rankings time. Get to see me futz around my screen. Libby, you're just blowing up the chat.
I respect you, Libby. Just
Libby, how did you collude with Tom to steal Saquon Barkley? Like, do you feel bad about it?
He's the commissioner. Doesn't need to feel bad.
It's a disgrace. All right, power rankings. I can barely read that.
There we go.
We've got Sam at the bottom because he doesn't play. Seth, Drew, Tom. So we think Tom is going to be the odd man out.
Yeah, he's interesting, but I do think Stefan's boxing him out right now.
Yeah, Stefan Wheeling's got that 8 lockdown. I'm probably the worst. I mean, I'm probably better than Wes when it really comes down to it, but, you know, me and Wes at the bottom of the playoff bound teams. Lucas had an off week, had to knock him down for that. Nathan surging at the right time. Libby, potentially the best team in the league, but he's not as hot as Ross.
These are power rankings after all. We got to shake things up.
Who do you want to play in the playoffs? You don't want to play Ross.
Let's go back in history here because I can scroll up in this big document. Where does it start?
Have to go far.
Yeah,
Ross
okay.
Is at the bottom.
Week 5, Ross is in last. Week 6, Ross is in last. Week 7, Ross is in last. Week 8, he's still in last. And week 9, he's at 11th. And then all of a sudden, he just starts creeping up and further.
Rightfully so. The power rankings did follow along very well with Ross creeping up the win chart.
Ross is inevitable. Oh, Libby, disrespected by the 3. Well, you just need to be better.
I haven't disrespected Libby yet.
Disrespect will not stand. I made it very clear. Who do you want to play in the playoffs? I would rather play Libby than Ross because Ross is touched by the gods of fantasy football.
Yeah.
You did not lose that trade, Libby. That is a lie. That is a bald-faced lie.
It's a bold-faced lie, too. We do have some football going on today. We're watching the Giants sort of beating the Cowboys.
Did Locke start?
Drew Lock did start.
Did he just give up on DeVito after a week?
Well, he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt.
I mean, the irony is that they didn't
physically unable.
The irony
to
is
play.
they didn't want Drew Lock to start, but now he has to start because the Giants are a complete mess of a franchise.
Did he just start bleeding marinara?
Oh no,
he tore his chicken cutlet.
The cutlets, yeah, he did. No, the Cowboys are actually winning, only barely though.
So yeah, the look ahead. I'm playing Stefan. I've had a pretty good day so far with my players playing on Thanksgiving. The Bears offense showed up in the second half. Cowboys defense scoring points. Gotta love being able to pick up the defense that's playing Drew Lock.
Keenan Allen is back.
Keenan Allen. I wanted him to be my flex guy the entire year. He started injured. My plan is coming together. He gets to play my spot. Unfortunately, Brian Robinson keeps getting hurt. So my second running back position is.
He got Eckler though.
Nick Chubb.
8 points a game.
Has got to come back. He had a huge week last week when I didn't play him. Wes and Sam. Sam is currently projected to beat Wes.
He's got a lineup now.
So we might talk about Sam if he beats Wes. If he doesn't, then I will go back to saying that Sam doesn't actually care and isn't trying, and Wes was guaranteed to win.
In his infinite wisdom, we talk about Sam being like the guy who picks up the free agents that he knows are going to be good. He spent 92 of his dollars on Tyler Bass.
Oh.
Nobody knows why.
Tyler Bass?
He's a kicker. Nobody knows why, but since it's Sam, he probably knows something that none of us do.
T-Bass.
Did anyone else bid on it?
Nope. Nope. He probably just blew all of his free agent money to pick up the Buffalo kicker. So he doesn't kick Buffaloes. He kicks for, yeah.
Good
point.
Libby should beat Drew. He's had a pretty good Thanksgiving also.
Neither of his Lions got touchdowns though. They had an okay game, but Amon Ra under 10 points.
And he didn't start Tracy, who had a touchdown but ended up with only 9 points. And Jamison Williams
But
didn't have a 10
also
points on
Drew is not a good team right now, so I don't see him winning. Not that it matters. Libby's coasting into the playoffs like myself. So
Tim, you got 4 points from the Chicago defense. Why would you play them against Detroit?
I actually don't. I am not really. I'm kind of checked out of my team right now.
And Seth did not play DJ Moore, who had 19 on his bench. Nathan versus Ross. Nathan currently 10-point projected winner over Ross. So he should lose by 20 when Ross scores 140 points.
But he's got Tyreek Hill playing the Packers later tonight. That could be interesting. You don't think so?
Won't score.
Is it a home game or an away game?
Home game, 11-degree wind chill.
They're playing in Lambeau at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tua can't play in the cold.
Libby says something about a Jake Bates baby. Who's a Jake Bates baby?
Or is it Jake Bates? Baby.
Oh, Jake Bates's baby.
Did someone named Jake Bates have a baby?
It's like Rosemary's baby.
Tom is projected to lose to Lucas. He needs CeeDee Lamb to have a better second half. Goff was fine. Laporta was fine.
What a great stat line from Sam Laporta. 3 receptions, 6 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 points.
It's a John Kuhn stat line.
Yeah. Well, Laporta's not had a great year, so I'm sure he's happy to have some kind of production from him.
Jake Bates is the Detroit kicker.
I see.
He's no Jack Fox.
He's no Jason.
Alexander?
No. Jason Sanders? Am I thinking of Jason? I don't know. I'm trying to go through Lions.
Shador?
No.
Shador Sanders?
Thanks, Libby, for the nice the letter this morning. The playoff projection.
Very good.
It's time for me to start getting serious about who I'm actually going to pick for the playoffs, since I'll probably be one of the top teams. I'm not sure.
I mean, Libby says he already knows who he's picking for the playoffs.
Ross.
Who are you picking for the playoffs?
Do you pick Ross and just hope he gets cold?
Well, so I think I did this a couple years ago when I made the playoffs where I picked
the best team.
I picked the best team, which I think was ironically Libby a couple years ago, because I thought I might as well just take out the best team right away. And I did. And that won me the league, I think. But also you could do that and get completely blown out.
Yeah, but you go on your shield.
Nathan.
You should pick Wes.
Nathan Rodabaugh did that last year, I think, after going undefeated in the regular season, and he lost in the first round of the playoffs. So that is that's always interesting. I'm quite frankly, it's between you and Wes.
Yeah, that's how the power rankings lay it out.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Unless everyone loses above me and I get a number 2 seed, then I get to pick.
That's true. You do have a good enough record. If Libby gets beaten this week, I don't know.
I don't think that'll happen. Saquon will have 97 points. And then Libby will still say that he lost the
Who
trade.
the Eagles play?
If it's the Panthers, then just shoot me.
They might not play him.
Wilson.
They are playing Baltimore.
Ooh, tough.
Good defense.
So
Good run defense.
Yeah. James, do you have anything to say?
In my other league that I am in, I'm going for the three-peat. I've won 2 years in a row. I'm the greatest fantasy football player of all time. I just know what I'm doing. I've never not had success I'm the greatest. That's all I've got.
It's not surprising to hear that I hate that league, and I'm probably going to leave at the end of this year, but then change my mind and come back. But
Is it a dumb draft?
no,
Yes.
it's pretty much it's set up
Uh,
pretty much exactly the
so
same as this league.
It is an auction draft. We know that because Drew spent $45 on Brock Purdy because he thought he was
Right.
Christian
Yeah, you
McCaffrey
told me
because he
that.
saw a white guy in a 49ers jersey. Because I nominated Brock Purdy first overall and
Not a bad
confused Drew.
pick. I mean, top 10 quarterback.
Time for
Yeah.
James to come up to the big leagues.
Well, Drew's gonna be gone.
Yeah,
Nathan will probably be
Drew
gone.
he quit, or he didn't want to play in the league this year.
Do you think Sam will leave?
I don't know,
Doesn't play.
but
He's the
we
new Matthew
thought
Krantz.
Drew was on the outs, and then Nathan brought him back. But I'm not quite sure how that went down or if that's even real because we haven't heard from Drew at all or Nathan actually.
Laney Wilson on Ozempic. Holy buckets!
No, that's Salvation Army.
I am in 6 leagues right now. So if you can cause the crash of a couple others, maybe I can join. I am in a 2 dynasty leagues, so it's taken over a lot of my life.
The great thing about this league is that even though it's not for
It's
money,
easy to win.
I care about it the
Oh.
most, and it's sort of easy to win. It's the only league I've won in, I'm pretty sure. So I'd say so.
Do people come up with the dumbest punishments that no one ever do?
No, there's
And
no
then it causes people to leave the league.
The best punishment is that the winners of our league get together in a committee, the top 4, and they name the last place team. So that's how we got the poopy flavored lollipop. And
Nick-
Luke was Mr. Buttside last year because we did a Killers theme.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Nathan Rodebaugh left our league because he had to run a 5K.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been great ever since then. So honestly, that punishment kind of worked.
fantasy league punishments are dumb.
The worst thing in the world. No one ever does it, except when I went to a Lynx game. But that's just because I love WNBA basketball.
So,
Shout out Maya Moore.
So it wasn't a punishment.
Well, I spent $70 on a ticket to a WNBA game.
$70?
Yeah, they did. They don't open up the top level, so it's actually very exclusive seating. And that was when Maya Moore was playing.
Okay. All right.
Not that I've ever lost a league twice in a row.
Are there any TV shows you're watching that I can completely bash?
Because
Because the last time you were on was
yes,
the Andor
yes.
experience.
Libby, if
season
you're-
2 is coming up.
Libby,
so.
if you're still on, my fiance Rebecca and I are rewatching Lost.
Oh.
Just finished season 1, started season 2. It's still great.
Lost is so good.
It's still great.
It's very rewatchable.
Team Jack all the way.
I have given up
So
on
you're-
TV shows, and I watch
Well,
an hour
yeah,
of a movie
obviously, but
every single week.
Between Jack and Locke,
Oh yeah, yeah.
lockdown. Get out of here.
I mean, Jack gets progressively worse, but
But when Desmond showed up, season 2, episode 1, brother.
is there even gonna be an Andor season 2?
Yes,
Come
there
on,
is,
Libby.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
it is,
out this in the fall.
How can
Or is-
anybody even
it's
be
Christmas, yeah.
excited for that?
No.
It's going to be one of the
Do
greatest.
you
things
like Star
has
Wars,
ever
but
come
do
out.
you like it to be boring and no fun
It's
at all,
amazing.
and not
It's
really
one
like
of the
Star
best
Wars?
things Star Wars has done since Rogue One, and it was connected. To Rogue
Colon a Star Wars. Story.
No, I don't. I've heard Lioness is really good. That's Taylor Sheridan's show.
Watch season 1.
But
First
I
episode of season 2 is good.
watched Gladiator 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago. I watched Gladiator 2. And now I just
Had
kind
you
of
not seen Gladiator before?
No, I've seen Gladiator many
I've never
times.
seen
I realized, oh, it's very good. But now I'm going through all
Just
the
wasn't-
Bond movies,
didn't think
and I
I'd be
just
entertained
watched
by it.
Skyfall. It turns out it's pretty good.
Yes.
Quantum of Solace sucked, and I was glad to look. Everyone said that at the time, so I'm glad I wasn't an out on that.
The one
opinion.
after Skyfall is good too.
Spectre.
Yeah.
It's got the Dia de los Muertos.
Libby,
Great.
I'm not even going to justify showing that comment on the screen because I control this
no.
live stream.
He's the dumbest human being on the planet.
He's
He
a
says
bad-
he loves Star Wars.
He's got
and he
bad Star
doesn't.
Wars takes except for
He
one,
doesn't love
that
Star
the
Wars.
Phantom Menace
He thinks
is
he
good.
loves Star Wars.
I love Star
He
Wars.
loves an idea of Star Wars that doesn't exist.
I love my idea of Star Wars, and I think everybody else is wrong.
Mm.
But
I hate Star Wars.
And he loved Andor.
I love Andor.
isn't that the prime
I love
example
both.
of how Andor is not good?
But
so
Andor
good.
was written by the guy that does
Tony Shalhoub, yeah. famous Packers fan.
Yes.
No,
He went from Monk straight to Andor.
Andor was one of the most boring things I've ever watched.
You should try watching Monk. It's a very good TV show.
Monk's good.
It's like Psych, but a little bit more serious.
No
He has
thanks.
OCD, and that's how he solves crimes.
No thanks. Isn't that Sherlock
And his
Holmes?
wife died. He has a less fun OCD.
Did you see that they're making a new medical
Yes,
drama
with Spock from the
No. It's the same writer that did the
Good Doctor.
the Holmes TV show.
Oh yeah, about the guy who Sherlock died, and now it's all about Watson.
Yeah, so Watson is going back to his medical practice. That looks great.
It looks really bad.
Skyfall is the best Bond besides Goldfinger.
I really
That's
like
true.
Casino Royale. Casino Royale and
Skyfall
are
is
pretty
by far
close.
the best Bond. By far.
It's actually the only one I've seen.
Far and away.
It was one of the few Daniel Craigs I'd seen. The Casino Royale, very good.
Casino Royale is good, except for the poker scene makes no sense.
Doesn't matter.
They all have like full houses and 4 of a kinds.
Doesn't matter.
Goldfinger is a good video game though.
Goldfinger is a good
Goldeneye.
video game.
Yeah, GoldenEye's good. I like the one where Sean Bean dies in it when he falls into a radar system.
Sean Bean dies.
Yeah,
in
just
everything.
like-
Sean Bond. Yeah,
Just like the scene in Cable Guy.
I've never seen the Cable Guy.
Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick go to a big radio.
And then Matthew
Okay.
Broderick drives away in the middle of the night on the wrong side of the road.
That was a different movie.
But that was real life.
I
That
know,
was
that
a
was a-
different movie.
That was Ferris Bueller 2,
Yeah.
Day Off in Scotland.
Ferris
Okay.
Bueller goes to jail.
Ferris Bueller murders a family.
We are now at the point where we plug your podcast.
Oh yeah,
So,
T2.
Especially the Batman episode that no one listened to.
Yeah,
I listened to it.
my good friend Sam, who was on Dark Knight Rises, is on the episode with a guest that has had the most listens to, not James, who did the Batman.
I will say I listened to the recap episode. I don't know who the guest was, but he was terrible. I could
Yeah,
not
what?
listen to that.
Cable Guy is great.
Could not listen to the recap because the guest was just so bad. Like, I don't know. His voice was grating, and it's just
Who?
The guest on the recap for the Batman.
Or you mean the recap
Yeah,
of
for
Batman?
Batman the series, every single podcast,
What a downer of a guess.
Yeah. Also, the longest draft in the world that didn't make a lot of sense because there were only 3 options for like every single choice. I looked at it and I was like, well, if you didn't get the other 2, you're
Well,
just stuck with
If
something.
you and
But
you and
my
Libby
team-
are on good terms before, you are not now.
My team was by far the best team.
I don't sure.
It was by far. It was better than when for the first one, Chris and I just drafted Alien and basically got to draft our own favorite things about Alien.
The Batman episode's good.
No one watches the Terminator movies along with us, so they're all confused by what we're talking about on the episodes. At least that's the feedback that I've gotten back currently.
I don't know why Libby's taking it so personal that I insulted a random stranger on a podcast.
I think you guys need to like wrestle again or something or whatever you did during camp.
I'm just gonna tell Fickner to slash his tires.
T2 might be one of the best episodes of the show that we've done.
I enjoyed it.
T2 it's such a good movie, even though James Cameron directed it.
So good.
I watched it 3 times.
I may not have seen the Terminator movies, but I can follow along with the podcast and like
It's because you have an IQ close to mine.
Well, thank you. But I think the point that you
It's a low
make
bar.
is that the Terminator, the cultural stuff that everybody got from Terminator is relevant even if you haven't seen the movies. Like everybody knows what the quotes from the movies are, even if you haven't seen
I'm
it.
back, baby.
Yeah, it's also like time travel for dumb people because there's a time travel element to the Terminator movies, but they don't really care. They're just like, yeah, there's something happened in the future. They send people back in the past to stop it. Any of the continuity stuff, any of the loops that would occur or get talked about, and anything else that involves time travel don't get brought up. They're like, just blow stuff up.
Is this the point where I can recommend franchises for you to do?
Yeah.
You should do John Carter with Taylor Kitsch and then
There's only one.
and then you do Battleship with Taylor Kitsch, and then you
Oh.
just keep finding Taylor Kitsch movies and just say they're all connected and it's the same person.
And then do season 2 of True Detective.
And then Friday Night Lights, and then
Friday
you just
Night
keep doing
Lights,
Taylor, and you just transition to a Taylor Kitsch podcast and just try and get him on. X-Men Origins Wolverine when he plays Gambit.
Ooh, yeah.
They
Interesting.
call me the Gambit.
I'll do a addendum to that feed, which is just try to get Taylor Kitsch on by talking about his movies. I think that might work.
I don't think he's doing much else.
When should we do Pirates?
I would like you to do Pirates, but I'd also like you to do Star Wars. I know you
I
don't
don't-
want
so
to.
many
I
Star
know
Wars
you don't want to
movies.
do Star Wars.
There's
But-
so many Star Wars movies. We'd have to do all of like the Rogue One, the Solo.
Good movie. Solo's
Um,
good.
All I've heard is Solo's bad.
Solo's
Solo's
bad.
good.
No,
Solo's
is
good.
bad.
Solo's good.
We're not doing any of the
Solo's
TV
good.
shows.
Solo
None of the TV
is-
shows.
Solo is good.
Solo is better than Andor, but it's still bad.
It's the dumbest take in the world.
Bad acting,
I
bad fan service.
That's insane. It is not bad acting.
The plot doesn't matter. I don't feel anything for the characters.
Do you not care about fascism?
Sure, I do.
Seems
I
like you don't.
think it
Seems like
could
you don't.
work. I can appreciate more a.
You just want to think less. You just want
No.
slop just thrown
No.
on your plate.
No.
It's like,
No.
"Oh,
that'd be the original Star Wars movies, which I like, but not as much. I prefer more of a.
How much would you have to pay if you got slop? 1/4 portion.
I would rather
Simon
see
Pegg.
more of a Greek tragedy unfold where you watch the overthrow of a government and you know how the story ends, but you just have to watch it end.
So you want to see an overthrow of a government, but you don't want to see an overthrow of a government on a planet where the small people get all their stories involved. And a guy
Yeah.
who beats a drum beats people up with the drumsticks.
Yeah, and they heist gold.
A guy
from the
But
thing.
it's
takes
less
a
interesting-
gravestone and just smacks someone.
It's
with
less
it.
interesting to watch because it wasn't Star Wars.
There's an
You
old
had-
droid who's just a cube, and he just
No.
kind of rolls around.
No,
Yeah, there's prison rape.
no.
Mm.
Well, okay.
There's a shower.
If you do
There's a
Star
planet
Wars,
that's called
if you
Miami.
do Star Wars,
Yum.
I do need to finish my essay on why the prequels are actually good and why everybody else is wrong.
I think they did that. It's called Blank Check with Griffin and David. It's true.
I just can't believe that the prison sequence, prison 3-episode scene or episode.
I felt nothing.
That's insane.
But you should do Pirates. Pirates would be an interesting one to do, especially if Chris hasn't seen it.
Yeah. I think that
I'm probably too close to those movies, but I love them.
yeah. Well, you would have your pick on what episode you'd want to be on.
That would be
Which
the
would
thing.
be probably Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah, probably. It's either that or the first one.
Bill Nye
Bill Nye
should have won an Oscar.
just killing
have
it.
you guys ever seen About Time?
Yeah.
He's
You
so
recommended
good.
that to me.
He's
That
so
movie
good in
is
it.
so good.
You think it's a rom-com, but actually it's about a father and son more than it is. Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Bill Nye is really good in it.
Yeah, and he's not a scientist.
I recently watched Shaun of the Dead, and he was in it. He was also really good in that.
He's also on Harry Potter.
He is. Yeah.
Who's he in Harry Potter?
He's Rufus Scrimgeour.
Who's that?
He's the
Yeah.
minister for
Or-
magic that
yeah.
takes over for Fudge that does a really bad
Oh.
job and gets killed.
He's
Is
no
that in six?
Kingsley
Or
Shacklebolt.
5?
That's in 5. So
Yeah.
he's basically like the militaristic guy who Fudge was so soft, and he comes in and he's like, "We're just gonna attack him," and then he gets killed.
And then there's a lady who just gets projected up in the sky, and then she gives a speech about needing to fight against the Empire. And then this guy writes a manifesto
Okay,
that gets
no.
spread around.
Time to turn it off. That's
Football.
it. Football.
Football.
Football.